أستاذ عبد الرحمن نقدر نبدأ؟
Okay, no worries. I think we have 20 in the meeting, so should be fine. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank Ajman X Center and the Ajman government for inviting us to hold a discussion in the Innovation Month. It's an honor for us, and we are happy to be here. Let's start by introducing ourselves. So, my name is Abdurrahman Maata. I'm the assistant instructor at Ajman University for IT and data analytics. And I'm also joined by some of our brightest students. We have Maryam Al-Mitnawi, Maryam Ali, Raghad, Rahaf, and Diya. And each one of them is going to basically take one sector of data science and sustainability and dissect it further. So we really want to explore what are the benefits of collecting data, what are the benefits of processing large volumes of data in different sectors when it comes to sustainability. So stuff like climate change, agriculture, renewable energy and transportation. We are basically going to dissect each topic further and see how it can be explored, how we can basically improve it based on the data that we collect. I'm going to leave the floor for Maryam Al-Mitnawi, our team leader, to start presenting her different ideas, and then we will switch between the members. And I highly encourage the audience members to ask us after the presentation. So we would like them to ask us in the Q&A session any questions that they have when it comes to sustainability. So, Maryam, the floor is yours. You can start.
Thank you, Engineer Abdurrahman. I would like to begin by defining what is climate change and how will data science benefit it. And I will also be providing examples of how data science can be used to improve our lives and the lives of future climate. First of all, climate change refers to the change in the statistical distribution of weather patterns. It's the most significant challenge to achieving sustainable development. It threatens to drag millions of people into grinding poverty. Climate change is no longer just a future issue for us to worry about. It's already affecting people, communities, economies, and ecosystems around the world. Quantifying the social and economic impacts of climate change can be a challenging and a technical process, but measuring these effects is critical to providing solutions and national climate policies. By using data science, we can save the planet and see what's really causing change in the climate. Is it deforestation, greenhouse gases, transportation and vehicles, or agriculture, which I will be discussing later? Analyzing the data into observations and visualizations would be a huge benefit to understand the past and predict future changes. According to the UAE's Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, several extreme weather events have been observed in the past few years, which are experiencing really high temperature, floods due to unusual intense rainfalls, and sand and dust storms owing its desert environment. So, based on these results, modern scientists studying climate change have taken advantage of data to understand how global air temperatures has changed over the recent past. In both cases, no one can simply look at the table of numbers and observations and answer the question which route to take or how global climate has changed. Instead, both questions require analysis and interpretation of the data. But before we can draw insights or detect patterns, we need reliable, accessible data. A crucial aspect of environmental science is establishing past patterns in order to better detect and forecast changes. The following graph provides a wide range of studies based on climate data. This graph shows the comparison of the UAE's temperature each 10 years since the year 1905, and it shows the growth of temperature of each month, which you can basically interpret from when the temperature levels has increased. However, the complexity of interpreting has further increased too. So there is an urgent need to include data and analysis methods in the framework. We can't just look at the graph and say the increment in temperature is because it was the summer. which can be a common factor, but analyzing the data plays a big role in giving more accurate interpretations. Establishing a baseline around past climate patterns is a crucial part of a data scientist's role. An equally important one is making the most of their skills and their models to project future outcomes and potential scenarios. It's an essential step towards building consensus around climate policies and strategies. Here is another graph comparing the rainfall levels in four Emirates since the year 1982, which we can notice from that due to the climate change, rainfall levels has decreased over the years. If we compare and see the difference of how the bar charts are represented before 1999, which had much higher rainfall levels from the 20s decade. The stacks in the bar charts are represented by colors, which are keys to the four Emirates in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, and Ras Al Khaimah. We can notice in the year 2017, for example, the red stack is the largest, which means Ras Al Khaimah had the highest rainfall than the other Emirates in 2017. As a data scientist, we need to look at the reasons of why and what's causing these changes by exploring the data and solving the problem to improve the other Emirates' climate for the next years. Understanding the relationship between the environment and society comes by answering data science questions using EDA tools, which is a process of investigating data to discover patterns and hypotheses based on our understanding. Here are some data science questions that could be applied to the two graphs shown before or any other sustainable issue we're facing. How can the features concerning the climate change and socio-environmental systems be explored? How can the increasing risk be measured and what limits can be defined? What signs and guidelines are needed to put society on a sustainable path? And finally, how can today's research, data, and decisions be integrated more efficiently for future purposes? All these questions and more can help in analyzing and exploring the reasons behind the sustainability issues. Agriculture has become increasingly high tech over the years, now much more than in the past. The Food and Agriculture Organization predicts the growth to be increased by 70% to serve the projected demand, and finding ways to grow more crops with greater efficiency appears to be an integral part of the human experience. However, the most advanced farmers focus less on external inputs and more on a new kind of natural resource, which is data. By gathering information on every aspect of their production and yearly crops, we can make decisions to generate better outcomes. It would also be useful to assist farmers in their new decisions. The more data collected about soil moisture, nutrition level, plant stress, growth, and weather, the more prepared farmers will be to respond to everyday weather changes and optimize their operations. The advancements of data scientists are making this reality possible by managing crop diseases. Using artificial intelligence to determine the kind of insects on a crop and the quantity present, farmers then get an associated report that can benefit them to plan their pest management approaches. The goal is to help farmers cost effectively control pests with a minimized environmental impact. While some insects can be incredibly beneficial to farmers and the crops, others can be toxic and spread diseases. Disease detection can be done by taking images of the field using drones and processing them to detect areas within fields that are infected. To cope with climate change, as I mentioned earlier, climate change is a looming concern that is already affecting the agriculture sector, and following the traditional farming calendar is no longer sufficient because of climate change. But data analysis could forever change the future of farming by using IoT sensors. It can help scientists to collect useful information about the crops and improve the understanding of how soil contributes to climate change by releasing greenhouse gases. Scientists believe it could fill in knowledge gaps associated with the relationship between soil and climate change. To make yield predictions, A poor yield can result in a devastating season for farmers, as well as all the entities that depend on the crops. IBM already has a platform that estimates corn yields 2 or 3 months in advance, reducing unpleasant surprises for agriculture professionals. Also, weather predictions, which plays a very important role in agriculture production, has an influence on the growth, development, and yield of crops. They can draw conclusions that push agricultural science forward through the examination of specific factors leading to change in weather. And finally, digital soil and crop mapping. Knowledge, data, and understanding of soil is the key for advancing agriculture and society. There is currently a critical need for sustainable soil management tools for enhanced food security. This helps in deciding what crops should be grown on a particular piece of land. It saves a lot of time, effort, and results in higher yield production. Maybe none of these options were relevant to you at the moment. A good first step was becoming aware of some of the environmental and social issues we are facing, and how data science can be applied to help solve them. Despite the challenges of the UAE's environment, which is characterized by low rainfall, high temperatures, poor soil, and lack of natural waterways, the UAE has made outstanding efforts over the past decades to build an agricultural sector that is able to contribute to food diversity and the national economy. By adopting policies that limit the impact of these factors and adopt sustainable and smart methods. According to the Khalij Times, Abu Dhabi is already using big data and artificial intelligence to maximize the benefits of new age technologies, to analyze viral diseases that affect animals and boost their immune systems, and the smart inspection of algorithm for food establishments to ensure its safety using AI tools. The Abu Dhabi Agriculture and Food Safety Authority also pointed out that the data analysis technology in the UAE will make more promising challenges such as weather changes, increased demand for food and sustainable supply by relying on AI, the development of a master plan for sustainable agriculture, data science, and AI implementation are some of the key initiatives taken by the authority.
Thank you, Mariam. I'll be taking it from here, talking to you about how we can use data science in architecture design, cities, and landscapes. The importance of architecture design and sustainability should be recognized. It plays a big role in urban development by improving ecological environment in the city, purifies the urban air, and making our city look more appealing. At the meantime, we're dealing with big complex problems in that field. I'm talking about climate change and the possibility of increasing the probability of unpredictable weather. An increase in high air temperature, melting metal or causing it to expand or stretch, or even earthquakes and floodings. Such natural disasters will have a big impact on our landscape. As a solution, UAE has launched the By 2040 Urban Master Plan, where it focuses on advancing the city for its people over the next 20 years, and established a series of national priorities such as sustainable environment and infrastructure. Its goal is to improve air quality, increase the contribution of clean energy within built environments, preserve water resources, and implement green growth plans. But the real question here is, what is the next step? How do we achieve all these goals and the pretty visuals that we're all daydreaming about? I would like now to introduce you to data science, a role that helps in solving such global problems. As data scientists, we use big data for our advantage to gain accuracy. In simple terms, big data is data with more diversity, arriving in bigger numbers and with higher pace, such as social media sites and jet engines. First, we seek a wide range of channels, such as those social platforms, search engines, and other applications to collect our data. It has to always be trustworthy and not any data that is out there. Now, I would like to show you what happens behind closed doors. Things aren't as easy as just collecting the data and getting solutions. Dealing with big data requires time and close observations. Cleaning the data from any dirt, such as manipulations, missing data, duplicates, inaccuracy, and inconsistency. Perfecting such step will result in accurate interpretations and results. achieving the highest quality information. Yes, yet misinterpreting it or ignoring it will lead to losing the design's reliability and quality. This will cause serious consequences, such as consuming more energy than needed. Let's assume that our data is perfectly done, normalized and structured, ready to be used. We can use this big amount of data to understand the tourist groups and grasp the activity space of different groups of people. Since it's going to lead to a large number of data, search scope, with many contents and activities, we're going to expand the scope of the research and make analysis. We will look into shopping malls, supermarkets, restaurants, such places that attract people's destination, and understand the size, number, and age distribution that we have to consider for large crowds. This will help us with making a safe, stable architecture design. UAE is taking a big step forward to help us with those achievements. Just recently, on the 25th of January 2022, last month, UAE government launches a big data for sustainable development platform to achieve the sustainable development goals by employing big data and artificial intelligence technologies after seeing a good amount of youth participants interested in big data. Another topic I would like to address is machine learning, which is where the computer algorithm and the machine you create is going to be trained from historical and existing data, from climate information, construction fabric, heating and cooling, and water, using classifiers, regression, and other machine learning algorithms by extracting relationship between multiple components. We can use machine learning to make accurate predictions regarding energy consumption and performance of different system control methods, for example. This will help building owners and developers to improve energy prediction analysis, resulting in high resolution decision making around investing in building service systems that lower carbon emissions and energy costs. We can say that machine learning and artificial intelligence are becoming more widely used to satisfy the demand for fast and accurate forecasting. They operate closely with other digital technologies such as big data, analytics, data management, visualizations, augmented reality, and virtual reality as we create smart infrastructure for the future. We can use them to explore maximum potential energy savings, identifying the optimal values of design variables, and provide building designers with more efficient methods of designing robust energy optimized buildings. Data science are also known for providing solutions for the field that they work in the most efficient way possible. And for that, here are some of the methods that we can implement to inform project layout. First is virtual reality technology. We can use VR technology to understand the client's behavior and collect such data that will help us with placing and designing the architecture depending on where most of these people spend most of their time in. That would not only help us with making a design that engages with the client, but also enhances urban efficiency and safety and minimizes environmental impacts. Second is passive strategies utilized to best manage daylighting and natural ventilation and go a long way in decreasing energy needs for the building, such as considering sun direction and climate. Third is environmental sensors to help with dealing with natural disasters that I have mentioned as one of our major problems. We can use these sensors to notify individuals of significant floodings or other life-threatening events. The Internet of Things architecture requires infrastructure that can support it. The 4 key steps that I will be listing are crucial to the overall feasibility of an IoT installation. First is connected objects. Without the presence of linked or smart things, an Internet of Things deployment would not be possible. Wireless sensors or actuators can be used. They respond to their surrounding and make the information they gather available for examination. Actuators go a step further since they can interact with the environment in a meaningful way. They can be used to turn off valves when water level reaches a given level, or simply turn off the light as the sun rises. Second is Internet gateways. The data from the sensors must be gathered and transformed into digital form before it can be processed. This is made possible by the second layer of IoT architecture. It basically prepares the data for processing. The data acquisition system is in charge of aggregating and transforming the data. It's what connects to the sensors and actuators, accumulates all of the data, and then transforms it to digital form so that the Internet gateway can route its routed across a network. Edge IT systems is the third level of IT architecture, involves data preprocessing and advanced analytics. Edge IT systems are in the charge of doing these responsibilities because IT devices collect a lot of data and need a lot of bandwidth. These Edge IT solutions play an important role in decreasing the stress of the main IT infrastructure. Edge IT systems utilize machine learning and visualization technologies to create outcomes from the acquired data. Machine learning algorithms generate insights, while visualization technology shows the data in an understandable manner. Last but not least is the data centers and cloud storage. The data needs to be stored for further in-depth analysis, which is why data storage is such an important stage of an IT architecture. It helps with follow-up revision for feedbacks as well. Cloud storage is the preferred storage method in IoT implementation. That's also because more in-depth processing, which doesn't require immediate feedbacks, can be carried out in the cloud or at physical data centers. There, more capable IT system can manage, analyze, and more securely store the data. This is also where sensor data can be combined with other data sources for more detailed insights. To wrap it all up, we use data in architecture design because it increases efficiency with dynamic platforms, easier evolution of our product since it handles diverse information types, enhances integration that results in accurate business bits of knowledge, and processing and storage has also gotten a lot more simpler. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. Now, let's move to how big data is changing the future of renewable energy sector. Big data seems to be everywhere these days. While government agencies are using it to improve their decision-making processes, private companies and marketing agencies are using it to target specific consumer segments. The renewable energy sector is also trying to take advantage of big data and machine learning in the best way possible. Here are 4 ways big data is changing the future of renewable energy. Firstly, predicting weather conditions based in historical data. One of the biggest advantages of big data in the solar industry is the optimization of the energy production and its distribution. Though renewable power generation is on the rise, the intermittent and unpredictable resources, wind and sunlight, often hamper the overall renewable energy production. As a result, it becomes difficult for solar and wind power plants to operate at their maximum potential. The good news is big data is rapidly changing this scenario. Historically, solar and wind power plants have always collected data. Thanks to the advancement in big data, predictive analytics, and machine learning, this data can now be combined with weather and satellite data. In short, this solar and wind forecasting technology can predict weather conditions well in advance, allowing renewable plants to increase their production highly. Instead of increasing the number of solar panels or wind turbines, the idea is to increase the efficiency of existing plants' infrastructure. For example, the IBM's hybrid renewable energy forecasting uses a combination of big data, predictive analysis, and weather modeling technology to predict the variable resources for wind and solar power production. It can increase the amount of renewable power generation integrated into the grid by 10%. This additional energy can power 14,000 homes. Thus, power plant owners no longer need to spend more money on additional infrastructure costs. The second point is streamlining operation and maintenance processes. The rapid flow of large-scale wind and solar power plants has resulted in higher energy production. However, maintaining the power plants spread across a vast landforms is fast becoming a harsh balancing act. A massive solar power plant, for example, consists of hundreds or even thousands of solar panels. different types of sensitive equipment, sensors, installers, inverters, and a complex web of wires. As a result, ground-level operation and maintenance is become more difficult, affecting the daily energy output of the plant. With the help of big data analytics, however, companies can streamline their operations and management processes to great extent. For example, Extra Space Storage, ESS, one of the largest self-storage management companies in the United States, is already using big data to run day-to-day operations of various solar plants. The company has used Virtual Irradiance, VI, a solar management program based on big data that collects ground-level irradiance, sunlight intensity, data accurately. The program eliminates the need for expensive on-site sensors. The analytics tool has enabled ESS to verify how well solar panels perform under varying weather conditions compared to their ratings. The software can send a signal whenever solar panels underperform or overperform. Thus, the ground crew can locate the problem quickly and take trapping action. As a result, they are now better equipped to handle ESS, increasing solar fleet, while reducing operations and maintenance costs. The third point is reducing renewable energy production costs. According to Streetlight Solar, renewable energy is enjoying a rising support from private organizations and individuals due to the gradual decline in its production cost. According to Bloomberg in New Energy Finance, the price of building an offshore wind farm has fallen 22% in 2016 across Europe. From 2012 to 2016, the cost fell by almost 46%. At present, erecting turbines in the seabed cost an average $160 per megawatt hour capacity compared to $155 per megawatt hour, a price for new nuclear developments across Europe. Thanks to the latest big data and predictive analytics technology, renewable energy companies can now produce more energy without yielding additional infrastructure costs. The ever-growing ability to extract useful information from big data is one of the reasons behind the gradual decline in the renewable energy prices. In the coming decade or so, renewable energy will be cost relevant with its traditional counterparts. The fourth point is making renewable energy projects more bankable. Though renewable energy sector is growing, the growth rate could be much better. Unfortunately, at the moment, only a handful of financial organizations, banks, and insurance companies consider renewable energy projects as credible investment options. Usually, the lack of trusted data that support the long-term validity of a project is the reason why most investors are hesitant to back a renewable energy venture. With big data tools, companies can forecast energy generation based on past performance, weather, and other parameters accurately. It can also help determine the exact quantity of wind turbines or solar panels required to produce the desired output. Thus, businesses can use big data to make renewable energy projects bankable. Big data now is just like any other industry. Is rampage, the renewable energy industry as well? However, the key is not one specific data tool, but using a combination of several different data techniques to increase the efficiency while reducing the production cost. The ever-evolving technology has already brought installation cost of renewable power plants, solar and wind, to the lowest point in history. The big data tools will not only bring it down further, but also makes such projects more bankable. The bottom line is big data is changing the renewable energy sector for better. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghab. Transportation improvement and sustainability should be a priority. And using the data that we can gain from the cameras in the public, radars, accidents, GPS, reports, violations, and much more resources would be one of the best methods that can show us what problem do we have and what kind of decisions we must make.
Via, could you please loud your voice?
Okay, 1 second. Can you hear me like this?
Yeah, it's clear, fine.
Okay, should I repeat or?
No, you continue, please.
Okay. Next slide, please. Car accident can be deadly sometimes, especially at a high speed. So we need to reduce its damage. If we use our data collected from accidents, we may find a solution for most kind of the accidents. You can notice that most of the car companies start to prepare their new cars with more safety equipment, and this is based on type of accident that the car wasn't prepared for, such as the perpendicular accident. New cars have airbags inside the doors to prevent any deadly damage to the passengers. Also, if you know Tesla's cars, they have a version that can drive itself. Its AI is using many types of data to simulate many situations to avoid any danger and make the safest trip. Type of accidents data is very helpful, and we can use it to save people lives. For example, if we have a specific road that has many run over accidents where someone runs over the street and get hit by a car, the road may not be prepared with enough crosswalk or doesn't have at all. So we can build a pedestrian bridge or a tunnel for the walkers, or use a traffic light for the crosswalk in the road. If we notice that most of the accidents are at the night time, the crosswalk have the road, I mean, may have a crosswalk but not enough lights. Now we all have been in congested street and know how annoying this can be. We can collect data from the places that is busy the most around the day and when does the congestion start. Adding in new sites for the road won't be always the most appropriate solution for this kind of problems. Since it needs a lot of time, space, and also a budget, we can predict or specify the busiest hour around the day and add a traffic light at the entries for that street that will be activated in the busy time. I myself have experienced an example of solving these issues. In Al Ain, most of the streets were using roundabouts or the traffic circle as the cross, and the population were increasing day by day. Everyone noticed that the frequency of accidents and congestion at those roundabouts were higher than the average. They knew that the traffic circle is not appropriate anymore and changed them all with traffic lights, which actually corrects the traffic movements and the accidents have been reduced. Most of the streets nowadays are monitored by cameras and radars to capture the car's movement and speeds. It may catch accident also, which would be helpful in discovering new issues on the road or a common mistake that the driver do recently. They can raise awareness about it. If we had a road with so many speed violation more than usual, it shouldn't be always the driver mistake. There may be a problem with either the speed limit sign, it may be covered with a tree or were taken off after a storm, and the cars are coming from a highway with higher speeds, or the speed radar itself is using maybe old speed limit. So we should know that there must be a problem or an issue to check, and therefore reducing speed violations. Remember when we talk about accident type data, recently a common type of accidents start increasing frequently. It is when there is a traffic light with a side that can turn left or stay straight ahead, or the other side, and the other side can only continue straight. And the only straight sidecar want to turn left, but took the straight side under the pretext of congestion, and it end up colliding with the other car. This accident is not dangerous, but still it can disturb the traffic movement and sustainability. So they finally start using radars at the back of the traffic lights to capture any of these behaviors. And without the data showing us these changes, we couldn't notice it as a serious case. Transportation is not limited to cars and vehicles on the street, but we also use trains, ships, and planes. And each method has many type of data collection that we can use and to improvement. But most common way of transportation is on land, and the most dangerous since it is for the public and not reserved for the professionals. And so we should focus on improving it, using data and track the changes after any kind of solution we make will lead us always to the best way that can save us time, effort, and most importantly, lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Waste recycling use data science to optimize quality management, procure materials, and optimize supply chain data. They are making a positive impact on the environment by giving back to nature. Besides, they are mobilizing the market forces and leveraging data science to build a sustainable future. Quality is an important issue for the recycling industry, and data plays an important role in uncovering the insights. Recycling companies observe a gap in the data efficiency and data transparency. So they employ data science and dashboards to gain actionable business insight. Okay. Now, how recycling companies use data science? They use it in operation management and problem solving. Recycling companies use machine learning and data science to collect the data of individual paper bales. The data science reveals bale quality insights. Therefore, the organization determines how climate influences moisture of recycled material. Deep data analysis helps to locate the hidden opportunities and solve the business problem. Moreover, the companies forecast demand based on historical trends, and the sellers better manage their inventory. Overall, data science helps to cut down the operational costs across the industry. Furthermore, they also use it in cloud-level data tracking and predictive modeling. Waste recycling institutions that use connected devices and adopt big data analytics services leverage and centralize information and analytics. Moreover, recycling companies with cloud connectivity have the added advantage of collecting data at every waste recycling stage. This enables them to take more data-supported business decisions and answer important business questions. For example, analyzing the data on an incoming material helps to determine the source contaminants, and the sorting centers determine the variance level of contaminants and maintain the material quality accordingly. Data science solutions help the recycling companies to determine how the quality of recycled paper material influences the complete product. Further, predictive modeling is employed to make better material purchase decisions, thereby reducing material procurement costs. And all these insights are coordinated by cloud, connected devices, and data dashboards. Thus, big data science has a big impact on supply chain management in recycling industry. The typical supply chain is complex, slow, and expensive with a great number of mobile parts. Supply-based management and analytics solutions are used to establish better visibility of a product in the supply chain. It helps to reduce costs across the company's supply chain, thereby increasing profits. Data science solution providers for waste recycling companies are delivering solutions that are plug and play into the business ecosystem. As a result, the data dashboard instantly connects with the customer data sets, performs analysis, and furnishes the insights. As you can see in the pie chart, those are the sum of the common waste we have in the UAE. As you see here, out of total waste generated in the UAE, the construction waste, that accounts for 70% of the total waste of solid waste. Dubai alone produced nearly 5,000 tons of construction waste every day. Hence, if not managed appropriately, it is expecting that dumping of construction waste will become uncontrolled. This will not only cause negative environment impact on soil, water, and air and the surrounding ecosystem, but also result in depletion of finite resources. This also creates social and financial burden to the society and to the country. Therefore, the management of construction waste is an essential aspect of sustainable building development. The second most common waste is domestic. As you know, when we say domestic, we mean like metal, paper, wood, fabric, and plastic. For example, plastic are an inseparable part of modern society. However, their safe disposal is a big and highly challenging issue. A typical UAE resident uses 450 plastic water bottles on an average in a single year, with the equivalent of 43 gallons on an average per person in 2011. The United Arab Emirates has the fourth highest level of bottled water consumption in the world. A whopping 11 billion plastic bags are used annually, according to the statistic from UAE's Ministry of Environment and Water. This goes on to add up to annual overwaste of 912.5 kilograms per capita. These statistics reflect on the extent of use of plastic bags and water bottles in the UAE and the consequent generation of plastic waste. Plastic are used globally in industries like packaging, construction, and medical equipment, among others. This is because plastic are durable, waterproof, lightweight, and versatile. However, some countries use them more than others due to a certain socioeconomic factors. Moreover, UAE has witnessed a rapid growth in the last decade or so. But there are several other startups that are independent of government sponsorship that are tackling pollution, as a higher waste generation and its disposal has been linked with water and plastic pollution too. One such startup is Bluefin Technologies. Bluefin is an AI-powered waste collecting robot. It can collect up to 3,700.5 liter bottles of water in 2 hours. It is environmentally friendly and leaves zero waste. Their website claims it is equipped with a smart waste basket and automatic lid that closes when the basket is full of trash, thus providing a secure waste collection system. As you know, we currently live in a society where there is overconsumption, and this comes with the increased garbage, which is a great problem. Each and every year, we recycle more. However, as we do this, we create more garbage. As we create this problem, few people are on board to help develop solutions. The 3 Rs, which include reduce, reuse, and recycle, all functions by helping to cut down on the amount of waste that people throw away. That said, they help conserve landfill space, conserve natural resources, and energy, among others. These 3 Rs also help save on money and land used to dispose of waste in landfills. Acquiring and setting up a new landfill usually comes with a great difficulty as it comes with a great public opposition, and it's expensive because of the environmental regulation. Reduce functions by ensuring that the waste is not produced at all. Reuse involves making use of once-used products so that limited waste is thrown away. It helps as it reduces environmental and economic waste in the process. Recycling, on the other hand, is a complex process that involves taking used material and remanufacturing them through some set processes, then selling them as new. Recycling can be done both at work and at home. If people are to achieve the goal of reducing the amount of waste that goes into our landfills, then they must follow the 3 Rs. For example, avoid the use of disposable goods such as lighter, paper, cups, and plastic. Throwing these objects contribute to greater problems, and they must be replaced over and over again. Once these goods are disposed of in landfills, there is a probability that they may form breeding sites for diseases. Besides, once these materials are used, there is a need to replace them each time, which is very expensive and costly. Moreover, why can't you purchase product made from recycled material? A product that has the recycled symbol means that either it has been made from recycled material or it can be recycled. This is a common in plastic that have this recycling symbol, usually the numbered code that shows the type of plastic resin the container really is made of. Recycled timber can be used for functions such as making furniture. And you can also donate to charity or sell old clothes, furniture, toys, or appliances. Most especially the furniture can be sold in garage, ads, and sales. There are times when one needs to change their furniture. Instead of throwing away this furniture, which can be useful to another person, it can instead be sold to those willing to buy or donate to various institutions or individuals who requires them most. Furthermore, learn to use products in different ways. For example, plastic microwave dinner trays can be used as a picnic dishes. Similarly, coffee cans can be used as a packed lunch. When an object can be used for one function or a purpose, it can similarly be used to perform other functions. This helps save on the cost of purchasing another material to perform other functions. Plus, in the workplace, instead of making one-sided copies, one can use two-sided copies. If one-sided copies are made, there will be more use of papers, which is a wastage of resources when one-sided copies can be used, which are less. Moreover, you can use dishcloths instead of using paper towels. Paper towels can be reused as they may soak wet. However, dishcloths can be used over and over until it's dirty, and this requires cleaning. When it comes to paper towels, there is a lot of wastage of resources as one has to use more than one each time, which is unlike the dish towels that can be used once in every session. Lastly but not least, ensure you buy products in bulk. Purchasing products in large quantities or economy-sized ones usually use less packaging and even cost less per amount. When a person purchases goods in bulk, it will take long before they buy new ones. That's all for today. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you have any question, you can ask the students while they are here. Mr. Abdurrahman, if you have anything to say before we close out the meeting.
No, maybe let's just wait and see if any of the audience have any questions. We highly urge everyone to ask some questions. So if there is anything, please ask.
Sure, no worries. And if you got any question, we can send you an email without. No worries.
All right.
So if someone wants to talk, please go ahead. If not, you can chat as well. So meanwhile, someone having a question or something, I just want to remind all the participants, if they want to get a certificate for this discussion panel, please just go into the chat and take on the survey, filling the names, the email to get the certificate. So I think there is no question. Welcome, Marwa. I would like to thank all the students who participate in this panel discussion, as well as Engineering Abdurrahman. Thank you for presenting us and moderating this panel discussion. Hope to see you, inshallah, soon with our teams.
Inshallah. Thank you, Ms. Hiba.